Namaste, Virgo. This is your reading for from September 16th through September 30th, your biweekly. We're going to get right into it. I hope you also watch the Virgo new moon reading that I put up. That is the 17th of September through the 30th, but it's up already. I hope you enjoy it, as many others have done already since yesterday when I uploaded it. And we're going to get right into your reading, beginning with this starting card, the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, which says that you have so much to be thankful for. And you're an earth sign, so I'm sure you worked hard for it, and that's why you have to be thankful for it. You probably have not many more people, if anyone else, to thank for it but yourself. You have other goals though. And this card is just about being mindful that it's going to require action again on your part in order to accomplish them. It's kind of like if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. I mean, these goals are not going to set themselves or achieve themselves. So you're going to have to put something into it. And this card means the same thing in pretty much every area of your life. So in terms of your love and relationships too, it's about having real conversations with one's partner, and not only being willing to talk but being willing to listen. And both people have to be willing to do that and put whatever they need to put work into their relationship. Upright, the Nine of Pentacles in terms of love and relationship is about mutual respect and adoration. Just love of which you're worthy and deserving, that you're receiving and giving to the other person because they're worthy and deserving too. And so this says you have the potential to do that, but you got to remember to actually do it, like do the work behind it. It's not going to just happen. In terms of spirituality, because that's the first thing I thought of, honestly, when I saw this card for you guys. It's like you have the opportunity to delve more into spirituality right now, and for whatever reason you're not necessarily inspired to do so. You're not taking the opportunity, and you should consider that. It could be because of some sort of ideology with which you were raised, maybe religiosity, a particular religion, or practices or things that are sort of getting, I don't want to say getting in the way, I started to say getting in the way, but those belief systems, because you're still holding on to them in some capacity, even if you don't consider yourself practicing anymore, they're sort of preventing you from delving into spirituality the way your soul is kind of guiding you to, but at the same time you don't really necessarily feel inspired to do. All right, so the next card is also, I was going to say it's also in reverse. It's not in reverse. It's the Hangman. So he's upright. And this is also a super spiritual card. In all aspects of one's life, this card involves letting things go. And so when you say that about a relationship, for example, people can become frightened. Oh, you're saying I have to let go of my partner or whatever. No, not necessarily. I mean, sometimes, yeah. If the relationship isn't really serving you, maybe you become enlightened. Hangman can be about enlightenment. See the way his head is glowing. And you realize that the whole relationship isn't for you. That's possible. But, often it's aspects of a relationship or our vision, whether we're partnered or single, our vision of what a relationship should be or how ours should be is if we're not, real people that are living it. We're like characters playing out some roles. And so, he or she isn't doing what they're supposed to. And, by this day, you're supposed to be married. And then by this day, you're supposed to have a baby. Sometimes you got to let go of stuff like that. All right. Next card is also upright, so I'll keep going. So opening to the star here, I'm going to start shuffling. The star represents most directly the sign of Aquarius. It is about communication a lot of the time, and that would be things like online dating or communicating via some sort of text, so like texting or FaceTime, Skype, and all those sorts of things. It's also about our prayers being answered, our wishes being granted, and our dreams coming true, aka manifestation. Those things that we've been focusing on, actually bringing them to into our lives, into our reality. The sign of Aquarius itself is all about freedom and humanitarianism. So this can also connect to those things and like wanting to free yourself of, again, maybe an ideology or some sort of impediment that's keeping you back from pursuing your goals the way you know how to do normally. Star. And here's your energy, the Page of Pentacles in reverse. So, it's funny because in relationships, this card can mean like you're probably kind of bored with your relationships and maybe even wanting to move on to something else. And perhaps that's why you haven't been inspired to sit down and talk or listen. If you haven't, maybe have like a wandering eye or something when the Page of Pentacles shows up. In terms of, money and finances and general energy, the pages about all pages in general are about news, right? They bring information. This one brings news of financial matters. So seeing him in reverse shouldn't scare you. It just means that probably some sort of news you're waiting for, maybe some sort of financial assistance you're waiting, is likely delayed. Yeah. Again, that is representing your energy too, as well as that of Taurus and Capricorn. Some of you may be dealing with another earth sign, or another earth sign may be significant to you in some way, maybe particularly a Taurus. Now the Page of Pentacles is up right here. And the Eight of Swords in reverse, another card about wanting to free yourself. Maybe because you feel like you're always the go-to person for everything. You got so much on your plate, to the fact that it can feel like you're burdened by it all. You're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. If anybody needs to borrow money, they come to you. Anybody needs advice, they come to you. And you are the go-to because you got it like going on in that sense. But it's getting to you, especially when you think that you don't necessarily have anybody to go to when you're the one in need, even if you just need like a shoulder to lean on, cry on. It's that feeling of I'm there for everybody, but who's there for me? Maybe somebody from your past is. It might be your ex that you're thinking about that would have been there for you, had always been there for you. But maybe because you're involved with somebody else, they're no longer there, and that's why you're sort of over your current relationship, for those to whom that applies. The Six of Cups for me can also be about one's children or a situation involving children, even ourselves as children. So like when we were children, maybe situations with our siblings, something involving your parents or your own children. All of those possible with the Six of Cups. Also, it is a soulmate card, and this is your new overall energy. Let's see what's behind it. It is the Five of Swords in reverse. So maybe a conflict from your past gets resolved over this period. I'm going to pull out the stand so you can see better the cards. Okay, I think that's going to be good. So the first card will be the card that most directly represents you over this 2-week period. It is the Knight of Swords in reverse. Surrounding energy, close friends, family, co-workers perhaps, or something going on at the job. Nine of Swords, upright. This was the card in this position in one of my collective readings this week. I don't remember which one though. So it would be the general energy reading, the love reading, or the Virgo new moon reading. Work and finance. Justice, upright, nice. And lastly, love and relationship. Judgment, upright, also very nice. All right, so are we, and we can move this a little bit. I think it's going to be perfect. Yep. Okay, so let's get to the Six of Cups first. In a general sense, I mean, it's about thinking about the past, being nostalgic, the good old days, having like positive memories and stuff like that. And that's awesome. We all have that. We all have things we like to look back on fondly, and, it puts a smile on our face or something like that. But the idea, the warning with this card, because it's otherwise, pretty good card, positive. But the warning with it is to not get stuck there and possibly like manifest a negative, like self-fulfilling prophecy. If we get stuck with like, you know, yeah, everything good was in the good old days. Like I have nothing to look forward to in the future. You know, my best days are behind me. It's all downhill from here. You know, or all that kind of stuff. Like those that kind of talk, negative self-talk, potentially brings negativity into our reality, right? So like perception becomes reality or is reality. And so just that's the warning that comes to this card. Other than that, it's a positive card, or it really can be at least. And it can be a reminder like if you're always thinking about, that person from your past, whether it was a friend, a family member that you missed, that you stopped talking for whatever reason, and then maybe it's time to just stop just getting stuck in the past, and maybe it's time to bring it into your present and reach out to them and see what happens. Same thing with an ex. Like if you've got this ex that's constantly on your mind, can't get them out of your head, maybe that's why you're bored with your current relationship, page of pentacles flipped over, then maybe it's time to, give that a go if possible. Or leave it alone for good. Maybe let go of it for good so that you can be in the present and then move into the future rather than having this energy that's stuck in the past. So with that in mind, we're moving on to the Knight of Swords in reverse, which most directly represents you over these next 2 weeks. So these two tied together, what can be bad is like maybe messages from your past. So maybe like your email or your text or something. Somebody could go through your phone or whatever during this period and maybe find something from the past and or your ex and or a soulmate, like, and they'd recognize like, oh, this is what they've been up to. One of the messages with the Knight of Swords is that things like email, any kind of like information sharing really is not necessarily safe and secure. So like telephone conversations being overheard or recorded, or again, somebody going through your phone, reading your email, reading your text, or something gets shared online that shouldn't be, or it's posted publicly when it should be friends only, or you put it to friends only, but somebody made a screenshot and they shared it publicly. You're like, just like you gotta be, don't be paranoid, don't be Nine of Swords, but it's important to just keep this in mind and be prudent about it. But connecting the two cards, it could be something again from your past and or involving like a soulmate or something, or a child, one of your children, or siblings maybe. So the other meaning of the Knight of Swords is that you may have some like travel coming up, but if so, you gotta be prepared for it to take longer than you would expect. So like the flight gets delayed, or maybe the whole trip gets delayed, maybe even canceled temporarily, but it gets rescheduled, it comes back up in the future or something. In terms of love and relationship, it can be like a signal that I guess if you're single, this would apply more so than if you're coupled already. Somebody that's trying to like really impress you. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're a loser. I mean, I'm an air sign and I know how we are, like, and we can be maybe quick to judge in terms of that, like if somebody's doing too much, it's like, well, God, this loser. And that's not necessarily the case. They could just be nervous around you. You may make somebody really, really nervous and they just really, really want to impress you. And perhaps it's coming off kind of lame, but you may want to give them a second chance and get to know who they are as a person, especially if you're looking, right? You're looking for a mate. Don't immediately brush them off. If you're already in a relationship, then, it's about communication too. And right now it's turned upside down. So I'll repeat what I said in the beginning about being willing to both talk and listen. A co-worker could try to take credit for your work also at the office or something. Try to have like paper trail backup where you could prove that the things that you've been doing are correct, or that you are who actually performed the work, because somebody may try to blame you for a problem too, and that's not your fault. just be willing to communicate and speak up for yourself, but also listen to, of course, what your supervisors have to say without popping off or whatever. Getting into the spirituality again, you got to really be discerning of spiritual information that you're receiving, from whatever source it's coming. It can be easy to become like confused or misinformed and stuff right now. Give yourself whatever time and space you need to absorb the information. Like, okay, I got to think on this for a while and see how I feel about it before you make a decision. Also, if there's an action required, because the way I read knights is that they're the action cards. Like I said, the pages bring the news, the knights take the action, the way that I read them. So moving on to the Nine of Swords again, somebody around you, I don't think it's necessarily your energy, although it could be in part your energy too. Just there's issues with anxiety and sleepless nights, maybe something from your past coming back to haunt you, so to speak. It's popped up, and I would say it's nothing dire. Maybe memories of someone that hurt you, but like some sort of betrayal or disloyalty. It could be making it difficult for you to sleep. This is very possibly somebody that's around you though, and not you at all. And again, you're that go-to person. So there's a potential for them to try to take this weight off themselves and put it on your shoulders. Don't let that happen. Be a listening ear for those that you care about, you love, if you're available. Absolutely be a listening ear, a shoulder to lean on, and if you're able to help without hindering yourself, like let's say they ask you if they can borrow some money. If you're able to give them some without missing it yourself, you can still pay your bills and have some money for enjoyment or whatever it is, then do it. But not if it's going to put yourself in a precarious position. Don't put yourself out and become, to the point where you're also this person with anxiety, because that doesn't help anybody. In love and relationship, you could be having some sort of gut feelings about your relationship, about the fact that it's unhealthy or something's wrong, or I don't know, anything. And the idea is just to listen to those gut feelings. If that's the way you feel, you're very likely right about it. So take appropriate action and don't try to brush yourself off and ignore the way that you feel about somebody. So that could be somebody close to you that you're having these feelings about, and again, that they're correct. And if you're single and you meet somebody, like on the romantic tip, be careful about rushing into anything and try to, let things develop organically. Like, don't be in too much of a hurry to get going. You got to try to get to know this person. For work, the warning is that you maintain balance between work and personal life. And it's easy for an earth sign to get carried away with just work, and not enough time nurturing themselves or being social or, attending to their mate, and again, being that listening ear maybe, and having an in-depth conversation with a loved one and stuff, because they're really focused on being able to live comfortably and being successful. And no one's knocking those things at all, either. There's enough envy on both sides, like, I wish I was like you and you could wish you were like me. But the idea is exactly to find something in the middle, the healthy balance in the middle between these things. So that's the warning. And the other message is that something that you're, like you're just due based on your worth and deservingness and the effort, the work, your performance is going to be recognized in some sort of way. Whether it's with getting a job or a promotion, new title maybe, or an award, a certificate or something, or even just people saying, like again, over here, somebody could be trying to take credit for your work. Over here, this could be the justice where it comes out that no, that was, so-and-so that did that, not this other person. They get the recognition. Right? The just due is coming to you. In finance specifically, this is a safe time for you to gamble a little bit and even if you don't gamble, if you're not, the gambling type in any kind of way, whatever, there's a possibility for like unexpected money to show up somehow, like a small windfall coming your way, and you decided to use it wisely. So judgment rather, in terms of your love and relationship, can mean so many things. The first meaning for me is abundance that is earned. So it's some sort of blessing from the universe gifted to you because you've put either through your works and your labors, your physical effort on this plane, or through your karma that's being recognized from another plane. You have earned it. So again, this is like your just due, even though we're not talking about work and finance anymore. And so you can expect something good to come into your life, whether you're already in a committed relationship and that's just the strengthening of that relationship, or you're single and you're looking for something. And again, this is fairness. The warning is for you not to be judgmental or presumptuous. So, and that includes over yourself. So like no blame or guilt or resentment, especially like from the past, regret, pride, all these are like negative emotions that can block us. So none of those judgmental or presumptuous sort of emotions toward yourself, or the interest, your love interest, or potential mate or suitor or whatever. And judgment can be about second chances, second time around. So maybe again, in terms of an ex, you guys could be getting a second chance right now. It's also about a make or break moment in love. Like we can take this chance. We're at this crossroad, and we can decide. We're deciding where do we go from here, if anywhere. And some of us are deciding we're going to keep on going down the path together, or we're going to rejoin together and go down the path, or we're going to part ways. Like this is it. This is the last juncture that we come to. And we sort of got to decide what it is we want. And that for those of you who are in a relationship again and you're over it, you in particular, especially if you've come in contact with an ex or something like that, or have been thinking about one and wanting to get in contact with one, you more than anybody else need to decide who and what it is you want, and be willing to let go completely of your current relationship, like for real, or let go completely of this ghost from the past, like for real. And and maybe let go of both. Maybe realize that you don't belong with either. You're miserable with this one, and that one is unattainable, or you're remembering where X is for a reason, and I don't want to go revisit there. All those sweet memories, fond memories that I was thinking about aren't necessarily the case. There were shitty memories too, and I don't want to go there again. So I don't want either one of these people. What I do want is, and you got to answer that question in terms of what type of relationship, what type of person, and then make yourself available to meet someone like that. Let's see what other cards come up, at least for an advice. The reading itself is probably long enough at this point, but advice. Oh, look at that. Okay, what are these? So, this is the Knight of Cups. He is romantic, flirtatious, introspective, and enchanting. A deeply emotional and probably romantic experience will sweep you off your feet. Things can move very quickly during such whirlwind encounters, so stay balanced and make decisions with both your heart and your intellect. So not just with Mercury, your ruler, and my ruler too is a Gemini, because that's just too much logic and stuff. You need to use some emotion and heart here with this choice. The Knight of Cups can often be about an ex returning, or us returning to an ex or something in my readings. Also, Major Arcana card 0, it's called Dreamer in this deck, but this is the Fool. So it's about taking risks, taking chances, a leap of faith, putting yourself out there. So just like I was just talking about right now, it'd be a leap of faith to leave your current partner and to, drop your ex out of your life and move forward as a single person until you really find what you want and deserve. It'd be a leap of faith to leave your current partner and to go back and get your ex and, get married or whatever and shock the hell out of everybody that like you've always wanted to do. It would be a leap of faith to leave that ex alone once and for all after all these years and really commit to your current partner and fix your relationship and live happily ever after. You know, so those kind of things. You are starting a new adventure. Run free and take a leap of faith. And I just threw the Knight of Cups on top of the Two of Wands, which is the soulmate or twin flame card of the tarot. And this dreamer, I just happened to open to another Nine of Swords. So this dreamer is going atop this feeling of anxiety, of being afraid to take a leap of faith is what that seems like. But the card with which we were beginning, again for you, is the Knight of Wands. He is passionate, charismatic, confident, and restless, and possibly an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. An opportunity arises that needs your immediate attention right away. Moving quickly is important, yet there's nothing that you can't handle if you follow your own inner guidance. So again, nights are about taking action. You learn of an opportunity to, again, do whatever it is you want. You know, you got to be the person who fills in the blank of what that is and whether or not you take the action. And that card also, I think, went atop. I lost it. But I thought I saw a Two of Wands again. Okay. And it's the Queen of Wands now. I didn't mention it, but another Queen of Wands from the other deck was actually behind the Knight of Wands in reverse. The Queen of Wands is confident, warm, intelligent, and graceful. Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Assert your independence and creativity. So this is telling you that you can stretch your wings and fly. You can take that leap of faith. You know, you don't have to be afraid. And it probably is toward love, relationship, or healing of another sort of partnership in your life, maybe with a family member, a close friend, again, from the past, or even a business partner, like healing a relationship. You're falling in love or experiencing a deepening of emotion in your current relationship. Marriages or romantic partnerships in distress can still be saved. Don't give up. And behind it is the Nine of Pentacles, with which we started, enjoying life's little luxuries, spending quiet time alone, or successful self-employment. And this is a card that can represent singles or couples, you know, as an individual, as a single person. It says that you're fine spending time with you. You know, you like you and you love you. And if you're not there already, then this card gives you the opportunity and the energy to get there, to, you know, just really spend time getting to know yourself. But in terms of relationships, it's also a super positive omen. It is about, again, mutual adoration and respect and, you know, worthiness and deservingness and getting that and giving that. Also upright, the Ace of Swords. Implementation of your brilliant new idea may get off to a rocky start, but keep going. The challenges will help you to refine your plan and to reshape your goals into something even better. The Ace of Swords tends to come after challenges, right? The Ten of Swords is the card that precedes it. So after maybe separation, pain, you know, some sort of hurt or betrayal even. Somebody was disloyal to you, dishonest with you. It can involve addictions and things too. After all of that, still managing to make it to a new start. That's why this is a card of victory too. It's also a card of using that sword to cut through any BS and get to the truth of a matter. Maybe involving a King of Cups. He is warm-hearted, devoted, loving, and faithful. A trustworthy person or relationship enters your life. You may receive wise and compassionate advice from someone who speaks directly from the heart. So this is if somebody does enter your life, and even if it is somebody from your past that you had trust issues with, concerns with, there was betrayal, again, in the past between you, they're coming correct this time. This time it's genuine, right? You can trust. Enters your life. A trustworthy person or relationship enters your life. And it will leave you feeling very happy. But you're going to have to be ready Two, once and for all, we're at a crossroad. Express yourself. It's time to express your love and appreciation for family, be it relatives or a chosen family of close friends. Congratulations may be in order on a happy, fulfilling marriage, as well as raising happy and balanced children. Or we can remain stuck, or feeling as if we're stuck and immobile. That's up to us. Major Arcana card 15, Ego, represents the devil and or the sign of Capricorn. You may feel that you're trapped in a situation, but that's not true. Be careful not to overly focus upon material wealth and break free of negative thinking. So those are all things we talked about. Not, being too focused or stuck on love. Oh, I don't have to put these away. Or on work, and finding the natural balance in between them. And also, you being the one to decide if you're going to let go of one thing or the other and pursue something else. So, your advice, one card from each deck for each archetype. For the masculine, those of you who identify as a masculine archetype, here's the 10 of Swords. What did I just say about the ace? It's preceded by the 10. So here's the 10, the pain. So those of you who identify as a masculine or male, you may be who's had this struggle and is now being presented with a new opportunity in this moment of success and of truth with the Ace of Swords. It's the end of a career path, project, or relationship that brings feelings of mixed joy and sadness, relief and disappointment. Put aside your fears about these changes and trust that a brighter future awaits. Right, the ace awaits. And speaking of aces, we have our own feminine. It is the Ace of Wands. A wonderful new opportunity presents itself. It may have come as a surprise, but you'll still want to leap into action and to passionately pursue every possibility. One of the things that I was feeling about that devil is that it was, again, representing the sign of Capricorn, which is where Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn are all currently located. So Jupiter had just been retrograde there, but went direct last week. And I did feel that devil was sort of a positive, and this was the Capricorn energy that was going to gift us with things too. So let's put that out there. And masculine, your other card, speaking of getting to the truth of a matter, is the King of Swords. He is brilliant, impartial, professional, and diplomatic. Speak your mind with confidence. Seek out professional advice and balance mental and emotional considerations. King of Swords for me is often like a professional, like a lawyer or a judge, doctor maybe, psychiatrist, accountant. If you need any of those types of people to get through something that you're dealing with, it does encourage you to enlist them, even if not in a professional capacity. If you have a friend along those lines, maybe it's somebody that can help you through one of those situations with other people leaning on you, you should, lean on them and enlist them to help you in this. Also, and this is a card about speaking up, speaking your truth, saying what you mean, meaning what you say, clear and effective communication. And if you are this type of person, or if you're dealing with a King of Swords, right, with this kind of person, he is somebody who you have to love or leave alone. He is not, we shouldn't be trying to change anybody but ourselves, right? We shouldn't be trying to change other people, period. But the King of Swords is really this energy that comes across very masculine, very set in his ways. And you just have, if you don't accept him as he is, then he's not the person for you. He's one of these people who you have to take as they are. And this can very well be you, Virgo, because again, you're ruled by Mercury, which could be coming through as the King of Air himself. And lastly, so I knew I was feeling Sagittarius and Jupiter. Lastly, for the feminine, Major Arcana card 14, Balance, which is actually Temperance in the traditional tarot, which does represent the sign of Sagittarius and the planet Jupiter, which rules it. It's the need for balance and moderation, cooperation and compromise, wait for perfect timing. Temperance is about negotiating, right? Healing relationships, coming back together despite our differences, being able to work them through, cooperation, collaboration, For me, restoration, recovery, where something was lost or lacking, it's taken from us, it is restored, it is renewed in some way. We're made to feel whole again where something had been missing. And it's just a very strong healing energy, sometimes involving an Aquarius for me. Although, again, in the traditional tarot, this card represents a sign of Sagittarius. But for me, what appears on this card and on most temperance cards is a water bearer right there in the front. You see this angel standing in a pool of water, pouring water between two vessels. That is a water bearer, if you ask me. So an Aquarius also may be very significant to you, and or a need for your freedom, and for you to be a humanitarian and start getting into protesting maybe and advocacy for different things, and just working toward what it is you want, really, like in a really organic and genuine way. I hope you guys have enjoyed your reading. I'll be back in 2 weeks. Namaste.